Dun. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Dermicom channel. We're here with 3 of my 5 players, and we are ending near the end of the Lost Mines of Phandelver game. The players have just finished Cragmaw Castle. They found something actually buried beneath the castle. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Dermicom channel. We're here with 3 of my 5 players. So, my bad. Right now, you're actually seeing the software that we're using is called Fantasy Grounds. I haven't submitted this map to the various players yet. They're currently in Neverwinter. We're tidying up a little bit of kind of like in between game conundrum of purchasing particular items and whatnot. So while we're waiting on one more player, we figure we go ahead and get some stuff done. Plus, this is a test not only for Twitch stream, but doing Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And want to make sure that everyone knows there's a big announcement. October 29th between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, there will be a Halloween game. Maybe not suitable for all audiences. It will be kind of dark. It'll be a darker game. But just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware. And come on out and take a look if you have some time. So party, you all are at Neverwinter at this point. And any last minute things before we continue on?
Did they get rid of sunrods?
Go.
I didn't see any in the book.
Say that one more time.
Sunrod. They must have gotten rid of that.
Ah, okay. So purchasing some sunrods, okay.
Well, no, they don't have them, I don't think, anymore.
Oh, they don't?
I didn't see them in the book, no.
Did they disappear in 5th edition?
Alas.
Okay, well, you know what? You've done quite a bit for the clergy of Ill Matter. So the head cleric kind of brings you this kind of ornament of kind of like hands crisscrossed and tied together. It kind of fits in the palm of your hand. And he kind of waves his hands carefully over top of it and hands it to you. It's glowing. He kind of informs you that I hope you need this indefinitely because very few things will cause that to go out.
Cool.
It throws light a little bit dimmer than a torch, but it's still a... he kind of explains, well, you know, I figured sometimes you want to be a little bit more stealthy than others. If I cast it as this, you can put it in a backpack and it won't cast any light.
Okay.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Well, no, do a lot for your order, and your order, you know, make stuff happen.
Since some of them thought I was a little crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, crazy was the wrong word. Overly persistent.
One thing Leo would have done is while in Neverwinter, he would have found a contact in his organization and handed over those journals from cost.
Ah, okay. So the Harpers are happy to take those off your plate. They kind of push forward a small bag of something towards you. For this information, you kind of knowingly understand that it's a ceremonial thank you, not one necessarily born out of value for value trade here.
He will just,
He's going to dismiss it, or is he taking it?
He's not going to take it. He's just going to say, make good use of these and learn something to advance the cause.
Ah, very, very well. Yes, we definitely will.
I will remove them from my inventory. I needed the weight. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
So I don't need to get a lantern if she's got that handy dandy shiny stick.
You'll have to stay close.
Well, sweet lady, that will never be a problem with me.
And the awkwardness continues. Now on YouTube and Twitch.
He can't help himself. He can't help himself.
It's a character flaw. Got it.
She can beat him up if need be.
You know, I haven't worried about the ladies in the group. They're very self-sufficient.
They are. Arabella dang near broke his arm.
Well, and both of them were the ones that actually javelin the bejeebus out of the green dragon in Thunder
They
Tree.
did.
So yeah, I haven't really worried about them too much. Okay, so y'all depart Neverwinter. Durst Grundon is kind of antsy and kind of trying to figure out, you know, what is it? Why can't I head with you all?
Yeah, I'm gonna have kind of a long heart to heart with him about I value him being alive, and I don't want to see him injured further. Just kind of plea with him to stay safe, and we can once we've retaken Wayveko Cave, we can get him back there.
So he starts having kind of a sullen side, and it kind of pulls directly at Durst's heartstrings of like, here's this cousin of his who, set out to do Wayveko Cave, has been through this very traumatic experience of one captivity to another, and just at that moment where you're about to start to feel sorry for him, he begins to speak, and he's just like, you have to do me a favor. And he kind of looks up at you, and he almost lunges, grabbing at the front of your armor, breastplate, or your splint mail, and he goes, you have to kill that drow. And there's something in the way that he said it that immediately kind of reassures you right then and there that you're making the right decision, that he would be too much of a liability on this particular excursion to Wayveko Cave. If you get the sense that any notion of strategy or tactic that you might want to employ, not going to happen if he was there.
Yeah, so I promise him on every oath to Moradin that drow will pay for what he's done.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, what she's done.
She's done. Okay.
So you all set out from Neverwinter. The party is a little bit lightly displayed here, but in the party we have Durst, who is a dwarven cleric. We have Yendra, who is a female paladin. We have Leo Stratocaster, who is a half-elf bard. We have another half-elf wizard by the name of Sai. And we have Alori, a human fighter, and Arabella, a human fighter. So Sai is played by the DM for the time being. Where are you all heading as you leave Neverwinter?
Straight for Wayveko Cave.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and break that map out real quick for everyone, just to kind of give you some... Zoom in real quick. So this is the DM's version of the Sword Coast map, just to give you some overall notion of where you've been. The party's traveling from Neverwinter on horse. Phandelver is right here. Wave Echo Cave is here. Now that you're kind of aware of the location, I just need to make sure, how do you intend to get there? Would you like to follow the high road? Is the thought that you're going to stop off in Phandelver? Are you headed straight to Wave Echo Cave? If so, at what point of the various trails that could approach there would you like to take?
I think the fastest way would be to go high road, right? I mean, plus it's the safest way.
Well, I kind of meant, like, if you're going straight to Wave Echo Cave and not to Phandelver, are you going to take Tribord Trail a little bit farther and then cut straight down? Are you going to head towards Phandelver and veer off? I'm just trying to gauge how y'all are heading. And for the time being, because Durst is the man in this, we're going to put his image on Neverwinter for right now.
And now that I know where Wave Echo is, I think it would make sense to stop off at Phandelver just for a brief moment to return that heirloom to. Why I can never remember names.
When it's the rogue's cousin or something, or sister?
No, it was someone that you actually rescued from the Red Brand hideout.
Yeah, Myrna Drendrar.
There you go. Who is currently the purveyor at the Sleeping Giant.
Right. So yeah, I think
Leo could check on his cousin also.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and change the map real quick, and we are headed. I'm going to make it's uneventful. Y'all are on horse. You guys are actually moving at such a quick pace. There's no carriage for you to deal with. That having woken up early in the morning in Neverwinter, you make it to Phandelver within one day. There's no carriage and gear and weight distributed onto each horse allows you to get straight to Phandelver within one day. As opposed to the day and a half travel by carriage. Again, you enter from the north part of Phandelver, and again, Durst, your miniature right now kind of represents you all as you have approached.
Okay.
Where would you like to go?
Yeah, right to the Sleeping Giant.
Okay. So. Sleepy Giant's over here. And give me just one quick second.
I don't remember. Was there any reason for us to go back and talk to Darren Edermath? I don't think there's anything left for us to do from him.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
We should probably stay away from the red building when you first enter town, because we owe that guy a carriage.
Oh yeah, right.
Cart. Yeah. I think forgot her name now. Arabella basically signed for that. So.
So actually, as you enter and you kind of pass by near. I'm assuming you're taking the road. So near Sister Gariel's Shrine of Luck, there is kind of a large signpost where things have been tacked up. There is a warrant out for Arabella's arrest. Having basically Barthen, whose Barthen's provision is this particular building right here. In a previous adventure, the party kind of signed out without really putting any down payment on a carriage, and it's been many days since, and it hasn't returned. So yeah, there's a bit of a.
Is it a piece of paper that's hung on a board?
Yeah.
I'll take it down. I'll rip it off.
Well, can't we just go pay the fellow?
Yeah, we should actually. Durst Durst wouldn't want to keep this arrest warrant active.
So Leo rips down one paper, and it's kind of like it goes back in time, as it's like absolute arrest. 200 gold pieces or 20 gold pieces. No, it is 200 because of the carriage cost and the horses. And underneath it, it's like a warrant for summons to Sildar, and he rips that down, and it's like, have you seen these people? We have some questions for them. And rips it down, and there's a note left from Jasper's like, Arabella, not cool. Come find me. So Jasper was one of the player characters who were left in Phandelver and was a night guardsman for Barthen's provisions. So it kind of goes back in time as he continues to rip down sheets of paper tacked on one on top of the other. So where are you headed then? Are you still heading to the Sleeping Giant, or what are you doing?
No, I guess we would turn around and go back to Barthen's, make sure he gets paid.
Okay. So you enter Barthen's. Arabella kind of walks in. There's this guy who is still being chastised by Barthen, and he's like, but dude, I told you that I didn't have anything, and they said they were going to bring it back. I can't help it if hey, hold on a second, that's them. And all of a sudden, Barthen just kind of like, go find Sildar. And he kind of pushes the store clerk out the door. He kind of is behind the thing. He's like, I don't want any trouble, but you all owe me quite a bit of gold.
And we're here to pay. We apologize. We did fully intend to bring the carriage back to you.
But it was a piece of crap, and it fell apart halfway to our destination.
I'm certain that's not the case.
No, it wasn't.
I elbow Leo in the ribs. Shh.
But we definitely lost it in Thunder Tree with the dragon and twig blights and all sorts of other nastiness. So we want to make you whole.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's a little bit more than the payment. I don't personally have a horse at this point, so actually restocking my wares is becoming problematic. So the question is, I need payment, but I also need a horse.
Is one of the horses that we have his?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, 2 of them are.
Oh, 2 of them are? Oh,
yeah, you got 4 horses more, so there's... But if you didn't take Grundon, you probably left one of the horses behind. Well, I'll pretend that you didn't. So you can say that you had.
Still had his horses, and we knew we were coming back here. We probably would have.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the payments though that were made basically means that if you give him back his horses, there's only 4 and there's 5 of you. But that's okay for this right now. Is there 5? No, there's 6 of you.
Well.
Yeah.
Is there another place to purchase horses in Phandelver?
No, there's only 5 of us, right?
No, you have Sai, Arabella.
Yeah, right.
Sai is the one you're missing. So
Yeah.
I would have said, because originally you had enough to bring Grundon with you, so you would have had 7 horses. So the bottom line is, you give away the 2 horses back with the payment. There's 5 horses. There's 6 of you. You all have to figure out what to do about that. I'm gonna give you a little foreshadowing right now. It might not matter that there's only 5 horses, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we probably don't need the extra horses, so.
Or you could buy back the horse when you're leaving.
Yeah, or just ride double, because the horses should be able to carry us. We're not pushing them to their limits, right?
No.
Yeah, surely Sai and Leo could double up. They're both small.
Slight of build.
Yeah.
Yes. And not wearing metallic armor.
I have studded leather on. Thank you very much.
That doesn't count. Shush.
So yeah, we'll hang out and wait for Sildar to get back so we can get this cleared up.
So Sildar comes back into the thing, and it's a mixture of frustration and happiness that you all have come back, because he's frustrated that something has happened where you all have effectively become grand larcenists, Grand Theft Auto type criminals in D&D. And at the same time, he is relieved that you all are not dead. He's greatly appreciated everything that you've done in the past. He comes in, starts immediately being very, very calm, cool, and collected in this situation. He immediately starts trying to talk Barthens down a little bit, going, I understand that, you are deserved funds. And he kind of looks at you, Durst, and he goes, do you all have funds to pay for everything at this point?
Yes.
As long as he's
Although
not
he hasn't
trying
said
to
how much.
exhort us for some extravagant amount.
He goes, this is a reasonable amount. Carriages are, generally speaking, new 100. Draft horses would be 50 apiece. He's asking for 200, which is replacement of that. And you all have had it for X amount of weeks.
Well, we're gonna give him the 2 horses. And so I'll give him 100 gold and 2 horses.
Barthen immediately kind of speaks up. He goes, that's not enough. That's not right. I mean, that and Sildar's like, calm. He's like,
okay, what's fair?
How about we split the difference and we go 150 gold and the 2 horses?
That's fine. I'm not trying to. I do not want this. Barthen, you've done us good when we first came here, and we're not trying to take you. Not at all.
Durst, right as all this is occurring, there's something catches your brain, and you start noticing that almost all his store shelves are bare. Like, he really hasn't been able to resupply since those horses have left.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm really trying to make this right.
Yeah, he goes, and Sildar looks back at Barthen, and Barthen's like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't fair for me to ask for 200, but yeah, 150 is fine.
Okay. I pay him.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you pay the whole thing.
Well, and Sai's sitting right next to you going, just kind of like open up his pouch and go, did you need some monies? Because...
I don't. I'm willing to pay this all myself. But...
Well, I'll chip in a gold piece.
Okay.
Your generosity knows bounds.
It does.
Okay, so with that, Sildar kind of effectively ushers you out of Barthen's, not because of any sort of aggrievement with Barthen himself, but because he has something to tell you, and he's not really wanting other people to listen in on the conversation.
Okay.
And when you all leave, he informs you that Glassstaff was killed in the middle of the night.
Do you know by who?
There was so he starts talking about that originally they thought that one of the Lord's Alliance members, and he goes, this just happened last night. He goes, yeah. We thought it was one of the Lord's Alliance members, but we found his body. So if it was, then he was hired to kill him and then was killed himself. But I'm concerned that that either he was mind controlled or that something made it so that it wasn't him.
So we're gonna fill him in on anything we've found out new about Wave Echo Cave, like that there's this black spider person and that seems to be running the show. Excuse me. And go ahead.
The doppelganger. Tell him about the doppelganger.
And that I don't think I saw the doppelganger, but I guess, yeah, Yendra did. So, yeah, we would tell him, and I'm sure you told the rest of us.
Yeah, and I saw it turn from a drow to something not.
Hideous.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
normal.
so we'll fill him in and let him know that's another thing.
And would you say dark spider?
The black spider.
Wouldn't that be a fitting name for someone trying to pass themselves off as a drow?
And Gundren said we had to kill that drow, right?
Yeah.
Yes, a female drow.
And is that what the doppelganger looked like before changing? A female drow or a male drow?
I don't know.
I don't think I had time
Roll
to catch
history.
its gender.
Just roll history if you don't remember, and I'll tell you if you get over a 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so.
Look at that. Rolls a 10. Female. It was a female drow.
Yep.
So.
Dun dun dun.
So Sildar
sure,
takes this news with a kind of. He's like, it never seemed, it's like for such a tiny town, this place never seems to run out of issues.
I'm sure Lori's screaming something about there's evil afoot that we must all rise up and destroy, and yada yada yada.
Do you actually add yada yada yada? Because Sildar goes, like, even when you say yada yada yada, his like mind is thinking of something, and he's just like, yeah, I agree. He doesn't even know what he's agreeing to. He just kind of, he's completely browbeaten at this point. The other thing that of note is that the mayor, the town master of Phandelver, has taken ill, and so on top of all of Sildar's duties as sheriff of Phandelver, he's having to kind of deal with political stuff now, and he's really frustrated about, last night the Glassstaff dies. Both the Miners Guild and the Lions Cluster, we had them at bay dealing with the manor because as long as Glassstaff was alive, we didn't have to actually make a decision on this. Now that he's dead, it's become this big, annoying thing that's happened. And he's like, I'm not even the one that told the Miners Guild that it was okay to take an offer from them. It was the guy who's sitting in his bed, puking up blood right now, and can't exactly do anything about it. And so he's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I need to not tell you about Phandelver things.
Well, no, that's fine. And I guess I'm glad that the mayor is ill. I was gonna mention that you might want to pay close attention to some of the important people in town in case they start making strange decisions.
Durst, go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Live?
Yeah. You can tell that he's telling you about the things that he thinks are okay for him to be upset about, but again, he was buddy with Iarno, Glassstaff. Yeah. So his death is weighing on him more than all these other things, but it's this mountain of things that have all happened within the last 12 hours in Phandelver.
Yeah, so, well, I wish we could help. See if you can get Sister Gadriel or whatever.
Gariel
to look at the mayor if you haven't already. I know sometimes simple things slip minds when there's so much weighing on them.
He goes, no, I mean, I appreciate that. I have asked her to take a look at him. Unfortunately, she's not as strong a cleric as one that can subdue poisons. And it appears that I don't know if this was, some sort of ill food that he ate, or whether or not it was actually malicious intent from someone else. But it appears that that is what is causing him issues.
I could actually cure poisons if.
Oh, well, I mean, I greatly appreciate the opportunity if you can either do it or come back quickly from wherever you're headed. I'm assuming, Wave Echo Cave. And he goes, I hate to tell you this, I don't want to know where it is. I got too much on my plate.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Well,
Yeah, take me to the mayor. Take me to the mayor, and I will heal this poison.
Okay, and so he takes you over to the mayor. You go into town hall. He has a cottage, kind of a loft area above the town hall is the mayor's residency, and you kind of approach. It looks really bad. I mean, he just. The veins in his face are easy to see as he's like just lying in bed.
All right, so I'm gonna cast lesser restoration on him.
Okay.
Which should cure the poison.
So you definitely see the vein structures in his face recede slowly as you're casting this spell. It's one of those things where. Curing of poisons and disease, even from a clerical state, is not an instantaneous, hey, I'm doing good, right? So
yeah.
You get the sense, though, that you've definitely placed him on the road to recovery. Sildar immediately thanks you because he's just like, this is at least just one last thing I have to think about. I greatly appreciate your time.
And while I'm at it, I might as well toss a cure wounds on him just to pep him up a bit.
Okay, so again, he does feel he's feeling better, but it's like if you had the flu and it was like the last 2 days of recovery, that's kind of like the state that he's in. He's no longer feeling the dramatic effects of it.
Right.
So from there, I assume you're going to head over to the Sleeping Giant?
Yep.
Okay. You leave, and immediately Sildar is very thankful for all your time. He's like, no, please, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you all have to do things. Please. You get to the Sleeping Giant. It's been about a week since the last time you visited Phandelver, and the transformation that has occurred to the Sleeping Giant it's like when you first went there, it was this grotesque pit of so much graffiti and destroyed, broken out windows and all kinds of. It looked like a rowdy bar. When you came the second time, there was no notion of clean, anything clean, but it was just or that it wasn't anything nice. It was just clean, right? And now you come back, and it's still not quite as nice as the Stonehill Inn. But you actually start worrying for the Stonehills that they're going to be actually dealing with competition, and you worry that there's not enough going on in Phandelver to necessarily have two nice inns in this particular area, right? You kind of walk in. Myrna is there. She is no longer kind of dealing with like a lack of clothing. She didn't have many possessions when you rescued her out of the Red Brand hideout. She kind of comes forward. She's wearing an outfit that would beset, like, if she was the proprietor of the Stonehill Inn. She's definitely taking on the role of being the caretaker of the the Sleeping Giant. Sitting in the back corner is Jasper. You kind of notice him off into the back corner when you come in. Durst, when you see him, he kind of waves his hand. He doesn't really know Yendra or Leo very well. Sai just kind of runs over to give him a hearty handshake as you're heading over to Myrna. What would everyone like to do while they're in the Sleeping Giant?
Oh, you said it's an inn, right?
So it was a bar that's been converted to an inn. The rooms are these. They took the storeroom, broke it up. There were like two main storerooms, and they broke up one of the storerooms, added a floor above it, and they've created effectively like two rooms.
But
so
there's alcohol.
There's tons of alcohol.
Okay.
This is a bar first.
Yendra goes to the bar.
In fact, that's the one thing that's pretty much missing from this compared to the Stonehill Inn. There's no food here. Like it's not a restaurant, right? It's a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Is it busy?
Food.
Because of its use of it being more of a tavern than anything else, it doesn't appear to you that there's a lot of patrons from, let's say, inn dwellers, but there's probably 10 people in the place, and it's kind of late at night. I mean, y'all have arrived at about 8 p.m. into Phandelver. So
Leo is going to perform.
Okay, go ahead and roll a performance check. Yendra, you're going to be ordering some brewskis?
Well, the strongest they have.
Okay.
So.
I'm going to burn an inspiration and take advantage, please.
Okay, do that.
And while Leo's performing, I'm going to talk to Myrna.
And it didn't help much.
That's hilarious.
I mean, 15 ain't horrible.
He rolls an 8 and a 9. So inspiration allowed him to reroll, and you got an 8 and a 9. Okay, so you kind of walk up to Myrna. She recognizes you immediately. Again, she's kind of taken on a little bit of airs, and you can tell she's enjoying. Like when you last talked to her, she was reluctant to want to take ownership of the place, and a lot of it clearly had to do with the poor condition that it was, the condition that it had been in. She's kind of taken on airs, and I don't mean it in a negative way. This is just, she's like, you kind of envision that had she stayed in Thunder Tree, she would never have had an opportunity to expand out and become the proprietor of a particular establishment like this. And so she's just finding the enjoyment of it all. And she kind of looks straight at you and she goes, "Durst, it's so good to see you. Did you by any chance happen to come across Thunder Tree?"
Yes, we did. And we found this.
My daughter's going to be so excited. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that you found something of use in my father's old herbalist shack.
Yes, we did, and it was greatly appreciated when we had to fight the dragon.
The dragon. Remember, she left when the undead arrived, which was before the dragon arrived.
Yeah, there was a green dragon there, kind of stirring up trouble.
And she kind of notices that Yendra's sitting kind of close to you because she's at the bar, and she kind of noted that you all came in together. She's like, "Is she with you?"
Oh yes, of course. Myrna, please be introduced to Yendra. You found us in Thunder Tree. She was working with, or at least talking to the druid.
Radioth.
Radioth, yes.
And she's like, she goes, excuse me, Jasper. And all of a sudden Jasper kind of jumps to his feet, runs over to Myrna, and she goes, "Please get these excellent adventurers all the drink they can have."
That lights up Yendra's face.
Are you working here now, Jasper?
He's like, "Yeah, I got fired from my last place."
I'm terribly sorry about that. We did settle the tab with Barthen.
I greatly appreciate it. There was a moment where they thought I was the one that took it, so at least hopefully that kind of clears me of any concern that might have happened.
Yes. And we spoke with Sildar, so everything should be back to at least cordial.
So Jasper kind of says something under his breath that you catch when he makes the comment that other people in Phandelver kind of thought he was the one who stole the carriage. And it's kind of like you get the sense that he makes a comment to the effect, he's like, I can't tell you how happy I am that Glassstaff is now dead. And he just turns around, starts pouring beers, brings you back.
That's all they have is beer?
Oh, no. Well, well, when you say that, he goes, well, we do have some scotch.
Bring it on, my lad.
I'm trying to remember how to do the Jasper voice. Well, let's see, sweetie. We got some scotch for you see? Hold on 1 second now. And all of a sudden he taps this new, it's a much smaller barrel. And he brings you something that it's a tall glass, but it's only about this much liquid in it. He goes, let me see how well you do with this, and if you can finish that, then I might be pouring you some more.
I knock it back.
Okay, I need you to roll a Constitution check -2.
-2. Constitution check. Not save, right?
Do Constitution save -2 though.
Okay.
This is some really potent stuff.
Oh.
Okay, so you're still on your feet, and he's like, maybe I misjudged you. And he grabs the glass again, pours it. Now it's not like a third of the glass; it's like 2/3 of a glass, and he hands it back to you. He goes,
okay.
But if I were you, I'd take that a little bit slower.
Which I do, but he made me prove it with the first one. So.
Oh yeah. He doesn't require a second proof, but he's just like, lesser lasses fall completely on their derrieres for this kind of alcohol.
Derriere didn't rhyme with lasses.
Lesser lasses also haven't slayed a dragon.
Oh.
Yeah, so Durst will definitely have an ale and sit back and enjoy listening to Leo's performance.
And did you roll your performance?
I did. It was a 15 total.
Oh, okay. So
I throw some peanuts at him.
So Leo's
that.
jamming to some tunes. The 10 people kind of swell to about 14 people as people kind of hear the tunes drifting out into the street and more interest kind of comes into the bar.
Ballad of Sigh.
What now?
It's the Ballad of Sigh.
Oh, ballads. Oh man, Sigh's like up on his like, that's me. That's me! Because he's had half a beer at this point, and Sigh has no tolerance whatsoever.
Play something we can dance to.
I'm going to finish my Ballad of Sigh first.
Sigh's literally casting Mage Hand and like going around giving high fives to everyone in the room.
I'll cast Mage Hand, and his Mage Hand and my Mage Hand can high five.
Yeah.
So after that, I will go into a rowdy, rambunctious jig.
Okay.
Which Yender will dance to.
So I need... Let's see. Who's the least drunk of the people? I'm going to... well, no. Alori would have drank. I think Arabella would have drank. Durst, I actually think because you're a dwarf and you're just drinking beer, you'd be the most perceptive at this point. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Okay. There's
perceptive.
So everyone is listening to Leo just jamming these tunes, and all of a sudden you catch something out the corner of your eyes, and you look, and there's a window that leads straight from the Sleeping Giant to Tressender Manor. And it is in flames. It's just engulfed in flames. Something happened, and there was a little bit of a sound right before it's all up in flames. I mean, it's burning.
I'm gonna gather Yendra and everybody together and go, something's happening at Tressendar. We need to go check it out.
Okay, so...
no, I've got the crowd in the palm of my hand.
I've got a drink.
Sorry, Leo.
So everyone leaves the sleeping giant when Durst kind of grabs Sai and you hear this voice behind you, Durst, and it's Jasper's voice, and he's like, he's kind of wailing in a bit, and you have a memory that he relayed something to you, that he saw Phandelver burning to the ground in a previous image, and you see him sprint away from the sleeping giant to his sister's farm.
Yep, we're heading straight up to Tressendar Manor.
Okay, so you're heading there. Jasper left. There, unfortunately, one thing that Phandelver does not have is the notion of a bucket brigade. The local well is back in the Luck Shrine. There's not a good way to get water there. I mean, effectively the manor is burning to the ground, and it's not. There is some stone structure to it, so you can still kind of see it, but like walls are kind of, or the roof, it is any remainder of the roof that was upright is fallen in. The Tressendar Manor from the get-go was a ruin, but you kind of, as you approach, you're seeing that even like the level ground is starting to weigh in on the structure below.
Okay. I guess Durst would just be looking for someone that had caused this.
Okay. Give me a survival check. Leo, you as well. Everyone can give me survival checks.
Nope.
Yendra, you're the only one who notices this, and it might have been because of something that you had seen in Cragmaw Castle, but you don't see any person leaving the area, but you notice tracks leaving the area, and they are one and the same with tracks that you remember seeing when the drow shifted on you.
Okay. So I will try to steady my brain that's filled with scotch now.
Yes.
And call my compatriots over.
So again, Yendra points out to you. You can see it now clearly. There's these thicker prints, and there's like 4 toes going straight, 1 toe that goes straight back, and it's going off in a direction away from that's headed in an approximate direction towards Wave Echo Cave.
And those seem familiar.
Well, yeah. There's another creature that you've seen with those exact same footprints.
The Nothic.
That's correct.
The what?
The Nothic.
Nothing.
Yeah, we'll tell her about this creature that we saw that we killed in Cragmaw.
You all killed.
Yeah, that we all killed in Cragmaw, and that has been messing with Leo and Durst on occasions outside of Tressendar.
So about 50 yards away from the house, the footprints change and all of a sudden become more natural looking footprints, but in same stride with the Nothic prints before it.
Can we have Alori kind of help keep tracking this thing?
Sure. And to approximate that, just give yourself, he has pretty good, give yourself a +2 and continue the survival test.
Okay.
We'll approximate this. And I apologize, I'm getting some text messages real quickly from the office I got to answer while you're doing this.
Durst's roll wasn't that great.
Okay. You continue to track, but you're noticing that anything. So even though these footprints are easily visible, they don't necessarily look fresh, right? Like whatever has occurred here must have been more of a delayed reaction. Like something maybe started in the basement and you just didn't see it kind of pop up. I mean, the whole notion of how fast the fire was visible to the point that things are sinking down into the ground gives you a sense that whatever was occurring, it took a little bit in order for it to start.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess should we keep following this, Leo and Yendra, or?
I don't think so.
Sai looks at everyone and goes, "Huh. I wonder if this makes life easier or harder for Sildar."
I think probably harder because they're going to want to lay blame.
Yeah,
And the fact that we came back into town and this place went up in flames is not going to look good on us either.
We have an alibi. We were at the tavern.
It can look how anyone wishes for it to look. No one's going to accuse a holy paladin of setting a house on fire. I refuse to believe that.
No.
I would hope not, but
Don't blame the bard.
don't blame the bard.
well,
You can hide behind me.
you also have an entire audience that Leo brought with you that came out from the bar with you. They at least know that you weren't there when the flames rose to the top. And
Right.
and you kind of have a trackable ally from Barthens because everything went down. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we haven't been in town that long, and we've been pretty accountable for the whole time.
It's
Yeah.
still not gonna help Sildar, but we should go back and tell him what at least that we found these tracks, and that we believe the doppelganger is much more on the loose.
okay, you all have taken quite a bit of time in tracking the tracks. When you come back to the main road, heading back toward Town Hall, Jasper kind of crosses in front of you, going back to the Sleeping Giant. He sees you, and he just goes, "My sister's okay," and he just walks back into his quote-unquote job.
Good. I'm glad to know that, Jasper.
What kind of is he? Is he? Does he seem?
You're breaking up a little bit, Bruce.
Does he seem weird?
Jasper?
Yes.
No, more out of breath than anything else. Like he'd been running pretty hard there and back. I'm guessing, Durst, you would have probably relayed what the visions were that Jasper had, or
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
Jasper's visions, nightmares, were of the town of Phandelver up in flames and his sister skewered, like literally just killed directly in front of him.
So I mean, he doesn't seem like out of sorts because part of the town has now gone up in flames.
No, you have to. So he has a sort of not so great take on Tressender Manor, just because again the adventure in Tressender did not fare well with Jasper.
Oh, okay.
He got pretty hurt while he was in there. He had a lot of dark visions while he was in there. He actually quit the party because of what he saw.
Wow.
So as far as he's concerned, Tressender in general is a cursed place, and he's just like, I don't care.
And he also made the comment about being happy that Glassstaff was dead, right?
Yeah.
There's something in his past that makes sense, but I can't tell you what that is. So,
Yeah. But you all, that's where you all captured the Glassstaff, right? Was in Trezendor?
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all make it back to the Townmaster Hall. Sildar's kind of, you kind of laugh a little bit because, man, Sildar took no time in switching from his day clothes to whatever would be classified as pajamas for himself. And he's just like, oh, come on. because you start relaying the information regarding Tressender Manor to him, and he's just like, tomorrow's gonna suck. Y'all need to make it a point to get out of here as soon as you can, because otherwise you're going to be roped into all this, and you have things to do.
Yeah, we're leaving first.
If we exit town immediately after this fire, will not more accusations fly at us? We show up, the place burns, we leave.
He's like, I can account for your whereabouts. If at the point that you left my site, you went straight to the Sleeping Giant and can be accounted for there, that's not going to be a problem. He's like, the bigger issue is going to be now the money that the Miners Guild gave to the mayor for Tressender Manor has been spent. We can't give it back to them, but there's no way that that property is now worth anything, or at least not the same amount of money that it was bid on. He's like, there's other things at play. Right? How would you feel, for instance, if you said, I want to buy that house, and the town said, sure, we'll sell it to you for 100 gold, and you give them 100 gold, and then the house gets burnt to the ground while you're waiting for someone to not die or be escorted to some other city, and all of a sudden that person dies. It gives you the right to have the house immediately, but we never gave it to you because of X, Y, and Z, and now it's burnt to the ground. Oh, and by the way, we can't give you your 100 gold back. That's effectively what's going on here.
Well, they bought the property, not just the house. They.
Yeah. He goes, huh. I bet you I bet somewhere in your past you've sold bridges that go out into the ocean.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't go back to Waterdeep for a reason.
All right. So I don't know where y'all want to stay, whether or not you want to stay at the Sleeping Giant or the Stonehill Inn. Regardless, if you're going to stay at the Stonehill Inn, where there's plenty of, there's way more rooms, it's a gold piece per person. The Sleeping Giant is much more of a, currently it's much more of a hostel. So it's much more of like 2 grand areas, like place for the guys, a place for the ladies, and everyone is like strewn out in different sleeping bags. If you want to stay there, it's a silver piece apiece.
I think I can handle the gold.
Arabella's not staying there. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
So we'll go stay at the regular inn.
Okay. I'm gonna go speed forward a little bit. Daybreak occurs. By the time you all come out, it's almost like a weird deja vu moment of first coming to Phandelver. Sai has woken up way in advance of all of you. Huge breakfast is already laid out that he's, accommodated with his gold pieces. And he's just like on the edge of his seat like, all right, we're getting out of here. Where are we going? How are we getting there? Who's going?
Not you.
Man.
Just kidding. You could have let it go that easily.
We
He's
cannot travel
excited,
without
but
great adventure.
he's more afraid of Wave Echo Cave than he was of the dragon.
Wow. You better sing a song of confidence on the way, Leo.
And
I shall.
the big reason though, and Sai makes a kind of a remark that he's just like, I am afraid of any place that makes Adrian afraid. So Adrian Barnhollow was his guardian.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, Adrian seemed reluctant to want to go to Wave Echo Cave. So I've always been not.
So
I'm a little nervous.
did this Adrian of yours travel to this cave?
No. He's read a lot about it.
Oh.
He has a lot of interest in it, but he always talks about it with an air of caution.
And is there a reason? Did he ever express a reason for caution?
you kind of see Sai kind of look away a little bit. He goes, this is one of those times that I really wish I would have listened. Like, so Durst would understand this, and Arabella definitively would understand this. When they first met Sai wouldn't stop asking questions. Why? Oh, why would we do this? Why does this happen? And so little by little, now you kind of get the sense, maybe it's scary. Maybe Adrian just made it scary, so then Sai would be like, I don't want to hear these stories.
Okay. I think I understand a little bit now.
So.
Well, we definitely need to get to Wave Echo.
Okay. So, y'all depart on horses. I guess you're going to double up, or how are you planning on doing?
Yeah, Sai and I can ride on a horse together.
Okay. Sai doesn't stress about that. And off to Wave Echo Cave. And again, this is kind of like the topographical map. Y'all are in Phandelver right now. It's a rather hilly kind of prospect as you're getting to Wave Echo Cave. At some point, you get to a point where the pass, you can kind of see that there's a really tall mountain, and it's a great landscape feature for people to go, oh, clearly in that direction. But Wave Echo Cave isn't in there, and you get the sense that if there was any question, that was probably the problem why people couldn't find it. Like, they took the most epic mountain that was there, searched all over it. The only problem was it was on the third highest hill. It's just a good way to kind of, right? But you get to this point where you can, Grundon had given you enough of information to realize that while it isn't in the tallest mountain, that the pass is too thin. It's not safe for horse travel. And so you have to kind of depart at one point from your horse.
Can I tell them to go home?
Sure, you can. No, you can.
All
so
right.
you go, yeah, smack it on his butt and send it
No,
off.
I talked to them in horse, or however that spell works.
Oh, wait a minute. So I don't know.
You gave me speak with animals.
I did?
Yes.
I don't remember doing that, but okay. So yeah. Okay, so you say speak with animals, and they're like, oh, okay. They take off. It's only at about, I don't know, they're about a mile away. When you start realizing that they didn't understand what you said exactly, they went back to Neverwinter.
I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, shit. Oh. Oh,
You should have
darn.
turned left at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Whoops.
what we're going to do for the time being is we're going to bring you all up into Wave Echo Cave. And the party members that are not currently present will be, they're going to be tucked away in the bag of holding that the DM has. Okay, Sai will be partying with you though, so that you have some backup, albeit not a lot of, not the same level of tank fighter, that you would have if you had a paladin, 2 fighters, right?
I don't know. After Durst at the keep, I mean, that's all you need is Durst, right?
Fair enough. And we will.
Plenty of heals here in this party.
Clearing the combat tracker for the time being. All right. So this time, though, while we're playing, since there's only 4 of us, Sai won't get the default always going dead last in combat. That way, he can be a little bit more of an assistant. Do you have Wave Echo Cave in front of you at this point?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Now do you
You
have
may
that?
want to give us. Yes,
Oh, wait a minute. And
it's not masked.
sorry. Yeah, I need to mask that real quick. And so it's a long winding path that gets you to the entrance of Wave Echo Cave. And I need to read a description for you real quick. Clear this off a little bit. The entrance tunnel leads to a large cavern supported by a natural pillar of rock and containing 3 stalagmites. In the western part of the cave, behind the column of rock, are 3 bedrolls and a heap of ordinary supplies: sacks of flour, bags of salt, casks of salted meat, lanterns, flasks of lamp oil, pickaxes, shovels, and other gear. Amid the supplies, you see the body of a dwarf miner, dead for at least a week.
Ooh.
The northeastern section of the cavern has collapsed, forming a 10-foot wide, 20-foot deep pit. A sturdy hemp rope is tied off around a nearby stalagmite and dangles down the side of the pit, at the bottom of which is a rough-hewn tunnel leading northwest and east. So basically, you all had to climb up quite a bit in order to get to this area. Then it kind of leveled off, and there's a huge drop off, and there's been rope that's been tied around. Let me draw this real quick. Around that particular stalagmite that's kind of grown up out of the ground, and the rope is kind of tied off in knots and drops down into this area that is northeast of where the characters are standing.
Okay. I'm gonna check the dwarf and make sure it's not one of my other cousins.
Okay. This was the campsite of the Rockseers. The dead dwarf is Tharden, Grundon's brother. You notice that his face is just... you've seen this condition before. The mayor had it. His face is literally just completely veined to the point that blood at one point must have just completely pussed out and drained off of his face.
Ugh.
There's a dagger protruding from his what would have been his chest. It's barely there. The only reason it's even staying remotely where you can see it is that whoever stuck him must have gone so hard that it kind of broke into part of his bone structure, and it's just kind of, because of that, it's so here's like part of his rib cage, and it's just kind of locked. The blade is wide enough that the 2 ribs are kind of keeping it in place.
Okay. Can I check the dagger? Make sure it's, I don't know, see if it was poisoned or...
It's hard to gauge at this point. You get the sense that if it was poison on it, that your cousin's been dead for so long that it would have been a kind of absorbed into his body at some point. It does, based on how the poison reacted, for the mayor, you get the sense that it's not a fast-acting poison. So unfortunately, you probably don't want to hear this, but your cousin probably died a very long death.
Yeah. Okay. So Durst steals himself and
Do you know this dwarf?
this is my cousin.
Oh,
One of them.
my condolences, Durst.
Can Durst bury him somewhere off in one of these kind of alcovey kind of places?
Sure. The only problem right now that you foresee is that this might be something that you might want to desire to do later, only because of fear of noise.
Okay.
Is there any?
But you can
sign
hide
that-
him.
Yeah. That's what Durst will do.
Okay, so Sai is again right there at your side, kind of helping you move, do whatever he's, and you kind of tuck him away into one of the alcoves, kind of near the stalagmite that is the rope has dropped down on. You kind of take the tarp that was placed there and kind of put it directly over his body to kind of keep the weather and other elements from doing any more damage. And leave the gear where it is, which is near the other stalactite to the north west section, just to basically, if people come around, the likelihood is that they'll find the gear and they won't find the tarp.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So there is this open pit.
What can we? Because it looks like there's a hallway or something off on the northwest side of the cavern.
So there's two exits. Trying to draw it real quick. There's one. Here's the other. So both of them are like you have to descend down 15 feet, and then they're not super high. For Durst, it's perfect height. For humans, most of them, and even half elves, they'd have to kind of hunch over slightly. It's a 5-foot entrance in both directions.
I guess I was meaning over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll go ahead and clear that out. It just, there's nothing there.
Oh, okay.
But sorry,
Yeah.
I was trying to be all quick about it.
So we will.
But I'll go
start
ahead. Boom. There it is.
moving- Okay. We'll start moving down.
Okay, so I need Durst, if you're going to go first, I need you to make a strength or athletics check.
Okay.
All right. So Durst, you appreciate the knots that have been placed into the rope, and you make your way down. But you notice twice that even as steady as you're going, your feet slide from underneath you, but you still make it successfully to the ground.
Okay.
How far down is it?
15 feet.
Is there anywhere to tie a rope off?
There's one tied off.
There's one.
Oh.
There's one that Durst took, which was tied off to the stalagmite that's circled.
Okay, sorry. All right, I suggest that Leo and Sai go next.
Okay.
And I'll help kind of steady the rope from the bottom.
Okay. Don't have to ask Sai twice. He jumps at the opportunity to get going. I just realized I need to make sure we do let's go ahead and make sure we have a long rest. Okay. So Sai attempts to... I want to show this off to the people who are watching. This is combat tracker, and there's a nice little thing here so you can say who goes next, use a menu option to do rest and long rest and reset out everyone's health and whatnot. And Sai has to roll his strength/athletics check. So Durst, you see that Sai, while he is very excited about it, unfortunately does not have the same kind of climbing acumen that you do. And at one point, his feet slide from underneath him. He lets the rope, unfortunately, slips through his hands, and he falls prone at the bottom of the cavern, taking a little bit of damage along the way. The good news is that it's not that much of a fall, but he takes
Ouch.
6 points of damage. And next up, he kind of dusts himself off when he gets to the bottom, and he stands up, and he gives you that kind of like meant to do that. and then Leo, as you're about to descend, right?
Yes.
And he's like, "Better not be in your next song."
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
So go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
Athletics?
Yep. And Leo, you are, I mean, there's a point where you're almost worried that your hands might get burned as you're trying to ease yourself down. The area is just not stable, but you successfully descend the rope.
Ta-da!
All right, Yendra.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, keep doing that, Leo.
So
I'm gonna need it.
So Yendra just kind of
Look
fails
out,
to
lads.
initially get that rope, and like it's that first step, right, where you're kind of like in a rappelling kind of situation, and it's just unfortunately your feet just slide out from underneath you, and you just see Yendra take a complete nosedive to the ground.
Leo said he was gonna catch me. He's holding his arms out.
And then he said, "Look out, lads."
Okay, so both Yendra and Leo take 3 points of damage. There was a successful catch, but it knocked him on his butt. So just from what Sai, Durst, and Leo can see, the cavern kind of continues on to the east, as well as just a little bit of vision into the area. It's definitely much darker. Yendra, if you intend on seeing, you'll probably have to break out your nifty new item.
I do.
So that's about as far as you can see in, though. Regardless, how would you all like to proceed? Durst, unfortunately, you're kind of reminded that, man, I didn't bury my cousin. I don't know if the silence thing was necessarily that protocol was put in place.
Right.
Yendra will volunteer to lead. In fact, she'll insist.
Nice. Okay, so
Okay.
which direction does the party wish to move in?
To the entrance closest to us, I guess.
Okay. Well, I don't want to control your character. Sai's only going to follow. I don't necessarily want to put you guys in initiative order at this time, but do me a favor, go a little slow so we can kind of mark off areas as you...
No. That's me. That's you on the internet.
Who? Momentary lapse of the game.
Yeah, I got the same thing coming too. Yeah?
There is. We have hens on the hip.
Oh, I paused the camera. You're okay. Yes, you're okay. But I didn't pause the mic, so just go do your thing. Sorry, children.
It's totally understandable.
Same issue here.
So I look back to Durst. Straight or to the side?
Straight seems as good as any.
Agreed.
Okay.
Even though I wasn't asked.
Okay.
I asked her because he's a dwarf and they live underground, right?
And the
Or at
original
least so I've been
Waybacker
told.
Cave was an agreement between the dwarves and the gnomes.
There we go.
All right. And many tunnels intersect at this natural 30-foot high cavern. The walls are carved with simple reliefs showing dwarfs and gnome miners hard at work. Below them, nearly 24 skeletons and rusted scraps of armor are scattered across the floor. Some of the dwarven skeletons, while others are orc remains. Half a dozen large brass lanterns stand in niches in or on ledges around the caverns, but none are lit.
Huh. That's a little gruesome.
Yeah.
Did you employ orcs to do mining, or was this a raid, perhaps?
No, this would have to have been new.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old are the corpses? I have medicine. I could check.
Okay. I mean, you get the sense that it's clearly, I mean, you know, like as things age, there's like a certain sense of like, oh, that probably died within the last hour. Oh, that probably died in the last day. Granular between an hour and a day might be difficult. And then you go, oh, that might have died at least a year ago. And then granularity beyond a year might be too difficult to determine. Right? I mean, I guess because of the metallic armor, you also gain some knowledge on how fast things rust and whatnot. I would say that it's clear that it's older than 10 years.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But as you kind of walk into the room, I'm assuming no one's leaving Yendra just there, right? I mean,
Right.
First off, most of the skeletons are kind of down towards here, this area.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you're making a medicine check, I'm going to make the assumption that you've moved there. And Durst, we're going to put you right here just to put you in a particular square. And why don't we go ahead and roll initiative?
Oh, okay.
There's a certain a flutter as sturges drop from the ceiling.
Ah.
Oh, dear.
Sai, you've killed these before. Strike again.
He kind of gives you that whole like, I took out their nest before. I remember this. Okay, and Sai goes. Initiative. All right. Unfortunately, all the sturges go before you all do. Let's see. 540. This sturge will go straight over to Sai.
Sturges never forget.
I thought that was elephants.
Oh. He might critically fail. Wait a minute. Did that actually go through? No, it did not. So the sturge kind of flies swoops straight down at Sai, but kind of misses the angle and drops directly at his feet, and it's just like sitting there going, I thought he was going to keep walking. The next sturge, I think he is going to come straight towards Durst. How can Durst? Oh, sorry. For some reason he has another sturge targeted. I'm like,
That's fine.
but he rolled a 14, which is clearly under your armor class. So I'm gonna let that one just go. The next sturge is going to make a beeline for Leo.
Ha ha!
Actually, kind of.
Oh.
Again, 30 foot high, clearly has the ability to fly over your head and attack from the flank. Ah, the first connection.
Ow.
Wow. Okay, so Leo,
Hey!
this you almost get the sense like, oh man, he's gonna totally miss you and just leave the area. Nope, he like hits you on the backside of your arm, and now you have a scourge that is directly connected to you. Where is the scourge? Can't find him. That's really funny. So they tell you that there's 10 sturges, and then they don't put it into the thing. So this one just died, as far as I care. All right, Sturge 4. He is going to make a beeline for Durst as well.
I'm going to do my pally thing.
But
Oh, he missed
Durst
it.
with his impenetrable mithril splint mail. Sturge 5 again attacks Leo.
That's why he said we weren't going to need the horses. He's going to kill me.
So unfortunately, you get connected to again, and so now on both arms, you're almost weighed down by the weight of this creature that's kind of wrapped its fleshy wings around each one of your arms.
Sigh.
Sai looks over to you and goes, "It's not my initiative." The next one comes after Yendra, but misses incredibly badly. The next Sturge comes after Durst again, frustrated that his brethren have not been able to seek purchase on any point. Oh man, but this one critically might fail as well. And does. So this this Sturge, its bite attack dove straight into the ground in front of you, Durst, and it's prone. It's like having a hard time getting out of the ground.
Okay.
Clearly, there have not been that much activity going on in this area, and it just missed poorly. Sturge 8 also goes against Yendra. Misses. And the last one goes against Sai. And hits Sai. Wow, doing max damage. So Sai, unfortunately, where both of Leo's arms are kind of down at his side with the weight of the Sturge, this Sturge went straight at the neck for Sai and has wrapped himself slightly around Sai's body. All right, next up, Yendra.
All right, so 8 is prone, right? So I get advantage?
7 is prone.
7, okay.
I mean, you still have you could still attack that one, but
No, I want the one that's prone, so because then it's easier to hit.
do it up. Oh yes.
Sploot.
And that is one dead Sturge. Sturges are not known for their hardy constitution. Leo, you're up.
So can I use a weapon?
You can add a -2.
Damn.
Or you can just try to rip one off.
Well, that would be what, like a grapple check?
Yes.
A strength check.
Well,
Right.
first you have to hit.
On a grapple check.
Yep.
Leo is going
You can
to...
you could use dexterity because it would be you could use effectively an evasion tactic as well.
Actually, Leo is going to make use of his new. Well, he's got a rapier. He's going to try to stab one of them that is on Psi. Which one has Psi? 9, right?
That is correct.
He will try to stab that. You said -2, right?
Yes.
Okay. -2. He will try to rapier that Sturge and miss miserably. And then with his new dagger in his offhand at a -2, he will again try to stab it as a bonus action.
Okay. Nice hit.
But it's an offhand, so it doesn't get a bonus, just a D4. But still, he maxed out on it.
Yeah. Again, Sturges are not known for their hardy constitution.
Sai, get these two off me, please.
So these things are flying all around, and Sai just kind of walks through the space because it doesn't actually take it up, right? And he looks at you, kind of does a little bit of a wink.
Oh shit!
And and goes right here. Still staying in the Sturge 1's, field of attack, so not getting any opportunity attacks there. And he sculpts. First off, let me go ahead and target all the Sturges in the area. So they all succeed. However, Leo, you get this moment of just like, ah! And it's this like gust of fire just wraps all around you, and these Sturges just like get hit, cook, and just fall off you like these grotesque ticks. And Durst, you are up.
Durst going to strike at Sturge 10 with his battle axe. Where'd it go? Ah, shoot. Somehow I deleted my battle axe. Well.
That was a +1 battle axe, right?
Yeah. So I'll just smack it with my warhammer and then take some time to add that back in.
Okay.
And that Sturge is dead.
All right. Top of the order, Sturges have lost a lot of brethren, but unfortunately Sturges are only interested in one thing, and that's feeding. So the one that's right next to you, Durst, doesn't move away. It just goes, it's feeding time. This time he makes purchase.
Oh, and I'll impose disadvantage on him.
Can you... Okay.
Protection fighting style.
Can you do that after the fact?
Yeah, I think it's a freebie.
Okay.
It's a reaction, I think.
Yeah. Let me
That's
look
fine.
up again. Fighting style. No, not lay on hands. When a creature you see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
So I don't think that's a reaction of after you hit. I guess I think you need to declare it before the attack roll.
Well, then I'd be saying it all the time, wouldn't I? It doesn't say that it's only once per your round or something, so that would be kind of obnoxious.
Well,
you
for
only
right
get
now,
one reaction
let's pretend it's the shield spell, and we'll just do it that way. So that it would only be after a successful attack. How many? You can only do it a certain number of times, or just once per turn.
Once per round. You get one reaction per round.
Okay. Okay. So he'll go ahead and attempt to attack again. Still makes purchase though.
Okay.
And again, somehow he finds just that one divot between kind of like the two, the chest plate and the leggings of the splint mail. And so, Durst, you have this winged creature just kind of clawing at you. Its needle buried deep into your hip. Yendra, one of the next Sturges, tries to attach itself to you. Maybe not. Rolls a 1. Oh, yeah. So it kind of dive bombs you, misses, and connects with his brethren and kills them each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
The two Stooges.
Yeah, the two Sturges. Yeah.
So currently there's only one Sturge left, and it's currently attached to Durst. Yandra, you're up.
All right. Can I hit it without
Without damaging Durst? No, you'd have to pull him off. The only reason that size spell worked is that he effectively spell shaped with his feature around.
Okay. Then I will attempt to yank it off.
Okay.
With a what?
I would say just roll to hit as though it's with your weapon. The only thing is that you're reaching for it with your hands. Am I doing that wrong, Bruce? I'm thinking that a paladin would be proficient with their fists.
Right. So just roll a d20 and add their strength. Or,
okay.
Do a strength save like thing or something.
There you go. And yeah, that's good enough. Their AC isn't that good. So you clutch onto its wings start kind of moving quickly, trying to get you off of itself, and you just go ahead now and do a D4 and add your strength. Oh, it doesn't matter. I just saw that you had a +3. So, Yentra, your character reaches out, grabs the wing, the Sturge, and just kind of rips it apart as you pull it out of Durst, and it just kind of disintegrates in your hands.
Ew.
There's no more Sturges left.
It's kind of icky.
One thing about my campaigns, ickiness follows. All right, so that Sturge is dead. What would you all like to do at this point? There's many passageways out of this area. Your light, though, shines only so far, and everyone's dark vision would go just a little bit farther, but not enough to bother with from the standpoint of which direction you'd like to head.
I guess let's go south.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me. This time, stay close, you two back there. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It opens into a kind of a cross-looking pattern, 10-foot hallways. 2 doors lead to both the east and the west. Something comes to mind, Durst, as you hit this area. You've seen other Dwarven structures before. This must have been the primary entrance before the Wave Echo Cave collapse occurred.
Okay.
Which direction would you like to go in?
I just moved down into the more open area so we could have a look around.
Okay. I mean, basically in front of you, the rock slide kind of has caved in the entrance at this point. So getting much more beyond that is not possible.
Okay,
again,
so are those doors on either side?
I'm sorry, yes, there are doors on either side. They are closed. They're not open, so.
Let's go west. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Did you want to check for traps or anything?
Yeah, sure. I look. Are there any traps? Like
Why
a
don't you
big
go? Why don't you go ahead and
mallet?
roll? I don't know. Why don't you check? And how are you attempting to check?
I'm not, other
Okay.
than looking around. So I guess perception.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll perception.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any traps.
Okay. I'll open the door.
Durst, stand back.
All right. Splintered stone benches and heaps of rubble from a partially collapsed ceiling fill this room. Amid ruined stone bunks and toppled weapon racks are the bones of several dwarves and orcs. There's a lot of things in here, but that's all I can tell you at this point.
Oh, in other words, have to go further into the room.
Okay. So again, throughout this entire room, there's quite a few bunks and stuff. What's your intention? What would you like to do?
Just kind of, I guess, seeing if anything's usable or of interest.
Okay.
We're looking.
Any treasure, maybe, in
Okay.
this room? You know.
Well, is that your intention as well? So I mean, again, it's a weird. You don't get the sense whether or not the collapse actually destroyed everyone, or if there was a lot of death and destruction prior to that, with regards to what appears to be different, orcs and dwarves having skeletal remains in this room.
Does this look like a barrack room?
It is. I mean, you get the sense of that. It must have been a guard room of some sort, but the fact that there are structures that would lead you to believe that they were beds of sorts in here, that this is probably the barracks. So as you begin to shift through some of the rubble, the bones begin to stir and knit together, forming 9 skeletons fight.
Oh.
Awesome.
In a fighting stance amongst the room.
Are they dwarf skeletons or orc skeletons?
There are both.
Damn, they're fighting together now.
So I need to go ahead and have everyone roll initiative.
These are. I can only turn Fey or Fiends. I can't turn Undead. That's so sad.
That's weird.
Yeah. Just have to kill them the old-fashioned way.
Wow, man, y'all are rolling some crazy good initiative rolls. All right, Leo, you're up.
Man, I hate to burn a second spell this quickly, but I think I shall. 10-foot radius on a point within range. 60-foot range. 10-foot radius.
Are you casting a ranged spell while you have a melee goblin or a skeleton in front of you?
Oh, I didn't see that one. No, I am not. I am going to... Man, I'm going to attack this thing in front of me. As a bonus act. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to rapier this thing in front of me. That's all I got. And I miss, of course. And then with the bonus action, I will offhand dagger that one. And of course, hit with the lowest of the damage. Take that, you ugly fiend thing, you. That's it.
So again, you kind of use your offhand dagger. Unfortunately, you're kind of reminded of the fact that skeletons kind of fare better with more malady-type weapons.
Don't have one.
Yep. Yendra, you are up.
Yendra has a malady-type weapon.
Oh, and smacks that skeleton incredibly hard. And immediately the skeleton directly in front of you kind of crumbles into dust, losing form not only between the skeletal structure of the bones, but like the bones themselves start to decay rapidly in front of you.
Man, I gotta get me one of those.
It's Sai's turn. Let's see. What does he have?
So we have clanking bones in here.
What are you still doing out there, Si? Jeesh. Told
He's
you
smart.
stickos.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to stop right there. And again, Durst, you have this momentary, like, kind of creepy, icky feeling as Sai walks right behind you, and all of a sudden just sculpts this cone of fire around your body to hit the skeletons beyond. Unfortunately, they both succeed, but both skeletons take damage. It is the skeleton's turn now. Skeleton 1 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come up to Yendra. Short sword in hand, comes down against Yendra, but can't even begin to deal with the might and presence of this paladin before it. Skeleton 2. Wow, he's way in the corner. 6. And he is going to end his movement here, but not... Basically, he double moved. There is no action for him. Next skeleton. Directly in front of Durst. Will attempt to strike at Durst. Fails miserably. The splint mail of steadfastness. At some point, Durst, you're going to have to name your armor, I have a feeling. The next skeleton goes. He feels he's just too far away. You see it slowly kind of draw back a short bow, targeting Sai. Potentially failing epically, rolls a 1. And so the skeleton kind of pulls back, and it's just the gear in this room has been here for just too long, and the bowstring snaps in his hands, and he's kind of stunned that he can't use it anymore. Skeleton 6 kind of just walks past Durst and wants to attack Sai, having been burnt before.
I'll use my thing this turn.
Awesome. Would that have hit Sai? No, that wouldn't have hit Sai anyways, but it was very close. It was 1 point away.
Move behind me, Si.
The next skeleton targets Durst from afar with his bow. And again, finds no purchase. Next skeleton.
Guy with the broken bow laughs at him. He's like, what are you laughing at, man?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Comes up to Leo. We all need enemies, Leo. And hits.
God dang.
Leo doesn't have a very high armor class, folks.
Yep.
Damaging the bard. The next skeleton goes. He sees everything that's going on and decides that he's going to maintain distance and use his short bow against Durst. But again, no such luck. Durst, what's your armor class again?
19.
Yeah. Wow.
Like 100 or something, right?
Well, it's your go, Durst. Roll
all
that
right.
beautiful destruction of skeleton footage.
Yeah, I wish I was 5th level. That would be awesome. But Durst is going to channel divinity, turn undead. So everything must run away.
How far? What's the range on that?
Like 60 feet or something?
Yeah, something like that. Let's see.
Okay.
So it's within each undead that you can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, it's turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage, and it must move away from me and can't come anywhere within 30 feet of me.
So does each one have a saving throw?
Yes.
Yeah, he can target them all and call
Okay,
them
you can
to throw their
target
saving
all
throw.
except for Skeleton 5, the one whose bow broke. I guess technically you could move 5 feet and then do it, but
Yeah, that'll work. All right. So let's make our saves.
all right. That's a lot of dice rolls. So what do we have here?
So it should put the turned effect on anyone that failed, I would think.
Did it? Let's take a look. Let's zoom in here. Yeah. Okay. So guys, this is again one of those really cool things about Fantasy Grounds. This little icon shows that these three. Actually, it looks like it's. Wait a minute. Is that a turned effect?
I don't see anything.
No,
I don't think
it
we
did.
would see him.
Oh.
It depends
So-
on how he's got that set.
Skeleton
I have
9.
it set right. Let me do this. Which one's got turned?
Skeleton 9. Skeleton 2.
8.
Wait a minute. No, 9, 8, and
6.
6 and
and
1.
one.
Now they are turned.
Yeah,
Alright.
now they have the effect on.
Awesome. They don't move though until it's their turn, right?
Right.
Right.
Leo, you're up.
Let's see. He's got one in his face. Just going to look at the one in his face. Which one is that? That's Skeleton 8. And say, how does it feel that you're not worthy of anyone casting a decent spell on you? And try to viciously mock it.
Okay.
And it
It
failed.
fails its save.
So it takes that for damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
All right. So this skeleton right here has disadvantage and took a little bit of damage.
Yep.
The
And
next.
that will be my turn.
Yendra, you're up.
I'll just be simple and go for the one in front of me.
Oh,
Critical
Nice.
hit. Fantastic. And the one in front of you is dead. Again, its bones brittle to the touch after being crushed by your... Which one did you use? What did you use? Your flail of ill matter. Fantastic. The next one up is Sai. He decides to reach forward against this particular skeleton with Shocking Grasp. Wait a minute. There it is. Unfortunately, he misses. The next up, it is the skeletons go. So skeleton 7, not turned. He is. Who's he attacking? Guess he's attacking Yendra.
7
Short sword
is
out.
way over there.
But again, there's something about the fact that Yendra is of the ilk that is known to just dismiss skeletons, that keeps him from finding perches with his short sword. Skeleton 4 goes. He's attacking Durst. He's one of the few that aren't impacted by Durst's earlier. Ooh. But rolls a critical hit. And slices clean into those little divots between Durst's armor. The short sword kind of stabbing directly into that. Skeleton 5. He unfortunately doesn't have a bow to use at this point. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? He should have been turned as well. Go and roll a save. I thought he was at 35 feet. He was only at 30.
Oh, okay.
Just roll a d20.
He saved.
So he saved anyways. So he rushes forward with his short sword in hand. I don't know why I rolled twice. Oh, because he was attacking both. Well, give me a second. Let me undo size. He's going to roll again. Why is he still attacking twice?
Number 5?
Yeah. Let me
It's
do this
2
one
people
more time.
targeted.
Does connect. And Durst takes a significant amount of damage. How are you doing, Durst?
Not that great.
So you definitely have a prolific amount of blood flowing out of your body at this point. Number 6 skeleton runs away. Can't stand the sight of you, Durst. So it makes it there. So before it gets out of size range, Side decides that he's going to swipe at it with the Staff of Defense. Unfortunately, Sai's not as proficient with his weaponry as others. Durst, if you'd like, you can have a reaction.
Yeah, I would. So that's number 6.
Yes. That's a connection. And Durst drops him without much effort there. Skeleton 7 is... he decides to not target Durst, instead targets Sai. Sai gets shield ready, though, although he doesn't need it. And the next skeleton. This one is also terrified. It's not quite sure how to get it more away from Durst, but it does back off. Leo, you have an attack of opportunity there?
Sure. I will attempt to hit it with my...
Rapier wit? Oh, I mean rapier? Sans wit?
Yeah. No, just my rapier.
Okay.
And I will miss badly again. I'm going to change this in at the next attempt.
You have rolled a lot of 3s today on a 20-sided die.
I
Time
have.
to change your dice color.
Yeah, it must be.
So it stays cowering in that corner. Let's see. And Skeleton 9. It's not in melee range, but it's cowering in the corner. Durst, you are up.
Durst is going to target Skeleton 4 and hit it with his battle axe.
Ooh.
For a critical.
For a critical hit.
Baby.
Ow. And another skeleton dead at the hands of Durst Anvilbane. Top of the order, Leo, you're up.
Leo is going to cast Healing Word on Durst because Durst looks like he's hurting.
Thank you.
And he will do it at 2nd level. That's 8, but it's, it's all I got, man.
Helps.
And that is a bonus action, so... With his action, he will look at Skeleton 2 and say, hey, you! Aren't you smart enough to run like your friends? I guess not.
Ba-dum-dum.
And he failed.
Oh, nice. So do your damage.
So he takes
3 points of damage, and now this skeleton right here is at disadvantage, right?
On his next attack, yes.
All right.
He's not going to get a next attack.
Well, but I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Yendra, you are up.
Although I'll miss now that I said that.
You never know.
Nope. Solid hit.
Go, Yender, go. Go, Yender, go.
And I will, let's see.
And Yendra drops a skeleton.
And then move up there.
Okay. Size go, he kind of moves forward and attempts to grasp the skeleton that's directly in front of you. Durst. Connects. And does a substantial amount of damage to the skeleton, but unfortunately, throwing cantrips at him, he's not quite of that level where you can start counting on things going double. Skeleton 5 is up. He just was attacked by Sai and decides that it's time for him to attack back. Short sword out. And Sai gets hit with the sword. But for the most meager amount of damage, the electricity still kind of coursing through the skeleton as it's trying to hold on to its weapon. It doesn't quite have the same sort of purchase as it had before. Skeleton number 7. He's going to attack again with a longbow to Sai as well. Unfortunately connects. Come on now. Sai is hit for 4 more points of damage. Durst, you're very much aware that Sai is on his last leg right now.
Yeah.
That one is terrified, won't do anything. And the last one is terrified and won't be doing anything. Next up, Durst, you're up.
Durst is going to cast Cure Wounds on Sai.
And the Cleric of Life comes through with the max amount of health that he can give as a Cure Wounds 1. 14 more points of health coursing through Sai as he's fairly rejuvenated. Leo, you're up.
Leo's going to move there. He's going to Durst, you feeling okay?
Doing okay.
All right. Hey, you ugly. Yeah, you the one that's about to die. Yeah, you're gonna die too, because you're stupid.
Not my fault. I didn't get to go to school.
And that one.
This time he
it
succeeds.
saved.
He
It
saves
saved.
from that vicious mockery.
It wasn't very vicious.
Yendra, you are up.
Man, she's like a freaking.
She,
Skeleton killing machine?
oh
Yeah.
man, that flail. The DM is rethinking his strategy on giving away items at this point.
Yeah, no, it's only +1. It's because it's bludgeoning.
Yeah, but it's you're doing a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do any more damage than a longsword, I don't think. No, I'm
Durst,
just on a roll.
you see Sai kind of again. Sai's going to take a moment and go. It's time. You've given him rejuvenation as he reaches out, but unfortunately, he's still feeling the effects of being hurt before. So now we're at Skeleton 5, who has seen you do all this healing, undoing all the damage he did before, and decides to target you, Durst.
Okay.
With his short sword. But fails miserably. Skeleton 7, with longbow, saw everything that's going on, and decides that Leo's in a much better range for him to shoot with his short bow. But Leo, even you kind of like do a bit of a sidestep as it just goes to the back corner of the room. You're like, wow, that was a slow. It's like he threw the arrow instead of using a bow. The next skeleton cowers in the corner, unable to see the damage that's about to behest him. And it's Durst's turn.
All right, Durst's gonna target Skeleton 5.
And that's enough for a hit. Sai is just in awe of you, Durst. And one more skeleton back to its remains. Top of the round, Leo, you're up.
Oh, and Durst's gonna move too. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
2, 3, 4. He's gonna move to there.
Okay. Leo, you're up.
Leo's gonna move to there. Ignore the one that Yendra's about to just totally destroy, and point at Skeleton 7 and say, "Your mother was so stupid, zombies made her a dunce hat."
That's good. Give yourself a +2. Or no, a -2.
A -2?
Well, don't you want it? Since it's a saving throw, wouldn't you want a -2?
I don't know if that will work on his save. I mean, I'll click it, but I don't know if
click it just because I'm curious.
Yeah, let's see if it works.
No.
I don't.
It didn't work, did it? But it didn't matter because it was a failure anyways, and the thing takes damage.
Well, I see a save 8 -1, so I don't know. I did click the -2 though, but I don't know. Either way, it failed, so it takes some damage. And it has now have disadvantage on its next attack.
Oh, wait a minute. You should have done more damage. You still have the -2 going.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, it did it there. So it's.
I corrected it on the chart.
Okay. All right. So the minus just stayed until I rolled something it could minus.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Yendra. Poor skeletons. And it's dead.
Surprise!
Surprising no one. All right. And Sheen closes in. There's no more bow going on for that guy. Sai, wanting to feel useful, reaches out with with a magic missile.
Oh yeah.
Targeting that skeleton.
do 18 damage.
1, 2, 3. And it was almost like a competition for him more than anything else. He's just like he didn't want to be the only one who didn't kill a zombie, because up until that point he did some damage but hadn't killed any of them. So he is out of first level spells. The zombies are gone now. You find amongst the ruins. I'm gonna assume you're gonna check for things just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You find amongst the ruins a small amount of gold. There's about 20 gold pieces in there, as well as 30 silver pieces. And I'm just going to distribute evenly. Does that work for everyone? Okay. And that's all that's of use. I mean, there's tattered remains of weaponry and armor and whatnot. No one used any bow and arrows, so while arrows might be useful, there's nothing per se to pick up at this point. Okay. This area is cleared. What would y'all like to do next?
Move on to the next.
Are you going to cross the room to the?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to just make the assumption that you're not going to check for traps.
No, that's not a Ender type thing to
traps
do.
are for rogues.
And I'm not going to get too close when she opens any door either.
Okay. Yendra literally doesn't even bother opening the door with her hands. She just kind of kicks kind of hard. This has been a place that has the door structures. They're wooden. They're not best maintained, and her foot just kicks the door clean open. This chamber was once an office or storeroom of some kind. A large stone counter bisects the room, set with 3 dusty balance scales made of iron, cubby holes. 3 dusty balance scales made of iron. Cubby holes carved in the north wall are stuffed with dusty paper scraps. Several long dead corpses, gnomes, and orcs by their look, are sprawled across the floor.
Okay. I guess not much else to see here.
So again, basically, you're looking at a counter. There's cubby holes behind it. This would have been in like a quartermaster's area. I'm not going to tell you if things are in there unless you're going to search.
Yep, we're going to search.
Okay, so if anyone tries to pick up any of the paper, kind of like that kind of would have like laid out what kind of inventory was in the room, it's not very legible, and as you pick it up, it just disintegrates in your hand. However, behind the counter sits a locked iron strongbox. It is unfortunately locked.
Leo, can you handle this lock?
You know, I could try. If I had made purchase of some particular tools when we were in Neverwinter, but I don't seem to be able to find those. They're not for sale on the open market. They're kind of frowned upon.
Gotcha.
Did you need another hairpin?
If you had one. Do you have one?
No.
Good.
No.
I shall make an attempt to check it for any treacherous devices, though.
Okay, go ahead and check.
Which would you like, an investigation or a perception roll?
Depends on how you're doing it. Are you trying to look for something, or are you trying to touch all around it?
I am. Well, is it on a floor? Is it covered by debris? Is it in the open? Can I?
So basically, you have that counter. When you go around the counter, it's on a shelf. It's something that you could pick up and take out with you, but you'd be encumbered by it if you were taking it out, right?
After our last, how big is it? Is it a small chest?
You're looking at, it's made of iron is the problem, so it's heavy, right?
Okay.
It's about it's about your body width wide, and about
I'm not going to touch it because in the back of my head, I see Elore trying to be eaten by a chest.
Oh, sure. It's not that big. It's much smaller.
Well, it could be a baby.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm going to like visually look around it and
so roll
try to
perception
examine
check then.
Perception, okay.
You don't see anything.
Is there a key anywhere in the area?
No, there is not. However, I'm trying to find, where's the dice rolling stuff? Here it is. So
Does not seem to be trapped.
So Sai watches you as you're like looking all around, and he hears what you're saying, and he just kind of tilts his head slightly, and he goes, "You mean were you looking for these?" And it's a set of thieves' tools. He had actually found one earlier in the adventure, but he didn't know what it was.
Yes, those exactly. Would you mind if I borrowed those?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. So it's in the community coffer.
Then I will take those from him and drop them in my inventory. And then I will attempt to make use of them to open the lock.
He found them in the Red Brand area. He had originally gave it to Jasper. Jasper gave it back to him when he quit the party.
Ah, Jasper would have known what these were for.
Yeah. Crit.
Oh, great.
All right. So yeah, you open it without much ease, and you know you talk a big game quite often, Leo. So it's one of those things where you showing this much proficiency in front of Sai, and even Sai's like, wow, maybe he does know more things than we give him credit for.
But then again, maybe not.
So again, so in total, the coffer, the strongbox hold contains 600 copper pieces, 180 silver pieces, 90 electron pieces, and 60 gold pieces.
Nice.
And those are evenly distributed. Okay.
There's only one gold in here, guys.
Sai, having given you the things, watched you very intensely and kind of kicks you a little bit when.
Kidding. Get it? It's a joke.
It's very funny. So there's a moment where Sai just kind of goes, if we feel safe enough in here, can we take a short rest?
I'm
Yeah,
good
I
with that.
believe so. Potentially even a long one.
Well, Durst, having just seen one of your cousins dead, I don't know that a long rest would be like you'd have to give me a will save to have that go through your mind.
Yeah. No, I know. I just was throwing it out there. All right. Yeah, short rest would be great.
Okay,
So anybody that rolls hit die, Leo's going to use some soothing music, and it's called a Song of Rest, and anyone can get an extra D6 on their hit die.
Wow.
If they roll it.
Okay.
Durst will take you up on that.
As well.
Leo's going to roll hit die also, and he rolls a 1 and a 4.
Okay, so give
6-sided, and he rolls a 6 on the 6-sided.
So give you 6 more points.
Yeah.
Durst, did you roll an extra 6-sided die?
I did. I rolled a 1, and then so I got an extra 3 from my.
So just as an inventory real quick, hit point wise, Leo and Durst are down 3. Everyone else is full health.
Yep.
Okay. And Sai is kind of excited because he can cast Burning Hands at its base cost now 2 more times. So, wish to depart?
Should we? Or it's 4:45.
So my only fear is that if we don't do a little bit more, and I'm not saying a lot more, if we don't do a little bit more, I'm worried that we're not going to be able to clear out this in one more day of gaming.
Okay. I was just like, we're clearing a bit without the rest of our party, but.
Well, do you all get a sense of how big this map is? Like, zoom out as far as you can.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's the only reason why I'm saying maybe a little bit farther.
Okay.
Okay, so Yendra or Durst, size not leading, please feel free to take the lead.
All right. So move back into this area. Whoops, God dang it. I don't know why that turn feature's even there.
Might I suggest we find the outside and then move in?
Yeah. So let's move to the east.
Okay.
I don't like being in this straight line because you just never know.
You don't like being in lightning bolt formation? That's what it's called.
Right?
It's not any better than fireball formation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Yendra, you kind of, the area actually opens up and you almost don't even need, there's like a weird glowing fungus in the room that you're going into.
Ooh.
I think I might use that divine sense thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're doing with that.
As an action, you can open your awareness to detect evil forces, such as celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you.
That's a really good question. I don't think there is. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. I think they get cover.
They get cover? How does that work?
That is, yeah.
So
Within
tell me
60
all the
feet
things
of you.
that you can sense.
Celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover.
Well,
And then I know also which flavor they are.
So I'm going to give you this anyways. So had you gone straight north instead of heading over towards the area you're heading in, you get the sense that there is an undead presence over there.
Back the other way?
If you'd
Or
gone
ahead of
north
us?
instead of heading east.
Okay. I will relay that to the group.
Good to know.
Yeah, great.
I mean, how exact do you get to know about this? Because I want to make sure I'm...
Like she said, she knows the flavor. Like she would know that there's a vampire in that range. But she wouldn't know the vampire's name. You know, she wouldn't know it was Strahd.
Right. It's a ghoul.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Should we go back and take care of that? We don't want it sneaking up on us. Because, I mean, we're not being silent. So...
That's probably a good idea.
That may not be a bad idea for you and the cleric to go kill it.
Oh, come on now, Leo.
Oh, I will stay back and watch and take great notes and sing great songs of you once you're dead. I mean, once the battle is over.
But ghouls are fleshy, so you can pierce them with that little toothpick
Pointy
of yours.
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirk's just going to start walking back that way.
Yeah.
Size not the lead. I'm just trying to move them up with y'all.
We can add a different creature to your list of heroic deeds, Si.
He's all ears. He doesn't know what that means. So Durst, directly in front of you is a door, and the passageway leads in both other directions.
Okay. Yendra, do you have a better sense of where that ghoul is?
That's a good question. Do I?
I think it
So,
lasts for a minute when you do that. So
well, I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't travel that far. It's directly in front of you. It's through that
Okay.
door.
Boom.
Boom.
And without any sort of caution, Yendra rips the door open, literally off its hinges. Just and old stone bunks in orderly rows with the walls of line the walls of this chamber, and the corroded iron brazier full of old charcoal stands near the middle of the room. The bones of half-dozen dwarves and orcs lie strewn about, clad in scraps of armor. 3 gray, hunched figures squat amongst the ruins, pawing at the scraps and gnawing on the bones.
Oh dear. 3.
Yes.
Oh.
And let's go ahead and roll initiative.
really, Durst?
Again? Oh my god.
Ooh.
And you still beat me.
It's because I get a plus and you don't.
Yeah.
I wish I could give that plus to Durst.
Oh dear, 0. Yes, yep. I've been there before.
You have.
Yep.
I'll get rid of my 1s on initiative. That is fine.
Yendra,
Yeah.
you said a ghoul. There are 3 ghouls.
Well, at least you can count.
Yendra, you get the sense that they're close proximity, that they were almost hunched over one another because they're in different squares now, but they were effectively in the same square as their meal, not even seconds earlier as you busted open that door, that it may have confused a little bit of what's going on. And initiative, so Leo, you go first.
Oh, man. Leo is going to rather freak out because it is 3 of them. And this time he is going to cast a ranged spell that can get them all.
Please say fireball.
He does not have fireball.
Missing a level.
So, but it is a nice, loud, ringing noise. Save. They all fail.
What are you
Nice.
casting?
Shatter. So they each take 9 points of thunder damage. So there's a loud ringing in the room, and all 3 of them take 3d8 thunder damage.
Is thunder damage in 5th edition sonic damage from previous editions?
I guess.
Okay, so there is an immense crack and boom that kind of hits everyone that has just come in. Sai enters the room kind of last, and he just goes, "Was that me?" Like, I didn't realize that it did anything. And it's next up. It is Yendra. You're up.
All right. I move up, and I'm going to use. Where is that? I'm going to smite,
Excellent.
because I don't think I'm going to do as well on this, because they're fleshies.
Clean hit.
Oh,
And wow. Yendra's actions with the flail of ill matter that she found last adventure continues its glorious reign. Yendra, the sound that the flail makes as it connects with the knoll in front of you is almost as thunderous as the spell that Leo had cast. Bones breaking. You get the sense that if this had been a live individual, that it'd be one of those things where you smack the front chest of a person so hard as to crack ribs, puncture lungs, and he would have, even if it was alive and not an undead creature, probably would have been dropped to the floor just as this gnoll is in front, or ghoul is directly in front of you.
I think it did too much damage.
Why?
My smite is on. Oh, it does one more because it's undead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Booyah.
All right. Ghoul 2. You're right next to it.
Mhm.
So it's going to choose the new meaty target that definitely makes the decaying flesh of the creature in front of him a far less interesting target. As it reaches out with claw.
You and your ones tonight.
Wow. It's like I knew you didn't have enough people to play this particular level. It tries with a second attack that does hit though. Doing so it man, the first one fails and almost does epically, but it does kind of like bring up its attack on the second one, and you're just not expecting an undead creature to move with such speed and grace that it catch you off guard. And now it's going to you barely succeed from taking you feel this moment as the kind of wound that was created by the ghoul gives you a sense of pause, like, oh, am I freezing? And you shake it off just slightly.
Okay.
The next ghoul walks up and attempts to do the same thing.
That's not a disease, is it? That they're doing?
No.
No, I don't think it
I-
is.
Okay.
No, it doesn't appear to be.
Okay.
The next one, oh, it didn't target you. Hold on.
It wouldn't hit. I've got an 18.
Awesome. It strikes with its second claw. This time it does hit, though. Wow, it did
Ooh.
max damage, or nearly max damage a second time. Again, you have this momentary lapse of fear of being completely paralyzed by these ghouls in front of you, and you shake it off.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared.
All right, scared.
Sai is kind of concerned for your well-being, though, as he comes into the room slightly, targeting the ghoul that did slightly more damage to you. And he will drop some magic missiles on it.
Can't go wrong with that.
And just like that, the ghoul in front, just diagonal to you, drops back as these 4 force bullets just pierce all through it, and he collapses directly in front of you.
Well done, Sai. Well done.
And Durst, your go.
Durst is going to move up and attack. Oh, and it would help if I picked him.
And just apply that to him. Yeah, that's a hit. Durst comes tromping forward, having a momentary lapse of memory of how the previous enemies had somehow managed to get through his armor. He's shaken just slightly as he brings the magical axe to bear, but unfortunately doesn't find purchase at quite the same velocity as he has in the past. Leo, you're up.
Oh, he's in a conundrum. He's going to...
Come on, Leo. Come up and finish it. You can do it. Poke it.
10, 15, 20, 25. He is going to step to there, drawing his rapier as he moves. Watch this, Sai.
Oh, dear.
And he will attempt to stabby Ghoul 3 with his rapier.
Oh, and you land. That's fantastic. It would have been far worse if you hadn't. I had a joke all lined up. Go ahead. So you reach out. Your rapier sticks directly into the ghoul in front of you, and the ghoul looks down. The rapier still stuck into him. Looks up, kind of pissed at you, and you have a certain sense that you're really hoping Yendra finishes him off at this point.
And as a bonus action,
as I was,
Leo will look at Yendra and say, let's find something good here.
Do you have a table of words to say?
I do. I have a listing of bardic inspiration. Because I'm not smart enough to come up with all of this myself.
He is.
I'll cue you up, Yendra.
Yendra, people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do.
That's fitting.
And she has a bardic inspiration now, so she can use... once within the next 10 minutes, she can roll a d6 on an attack or a save, or on a damage roll.
All right, well, let's see if I need it. Ooh, would a 13 hit? Oh, no, I have to roll the 6. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what the hell? I'll use it.
And that's a hit.
Yay.
Do your damage.
He looks pretty bad, so I'm not going to smite him. There we go.
And again, the ghoul drops in front of you. There's a certain sense of proficiency with the undead that the entire party gets a sense that we're doing incredibly well with that.
I'm going to clasp Leo on the shoulder and say, I really needed that. Thank you.
A few seconds of scouring around the area reveals that there is nothing of use per se within these walls. The only thing that's disconcerting is that whatever the ghouls were feeding on was not sealed in here when the rock slide occurred. It's a way more recent creature of some sort.
Don't let Durst look at it.
And with that, we're going to call the game. It's perfectly at 8 o'clock. Thank you all for sticking around. And everyone out there on YouTube and Twitch land, thank you for waiting till 5:20 for us to pick up. We will have one more game this coming Sunday. Should be the final game for Lost Mines of Phandelver as far as this is concerned. And we'll start prepping... Wait a minute. Today is Sunday. Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to have our next game between 8 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And please come out the following Sunday, which is October 29th. We're going to have a bigger group. There should be 6 players, plus, and we're going to go through a Halloween adventure that's going to be... I would say slightly more than PG rated. So if there's some sensitivities out there, I would say don't turn in for that. But if you're interested in a pretty kind of harrowing adventure, we already have take a look at the Halloween 2017 video that was released on the YouTube video, and as kind of like prologue for this Halloween game that's coming up. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.